Oh, we are live. We are live. And there is no commercial playing. I wonder if you're seeing the commercial. Sometimes people say they see the commercial, and I don't. I don't see anything playing. Mm-mm. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, well, thanks for being here while I maneuver some things onto the screen. Here we go. Here we go.
A
Whew.
lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon.
Well. Welcome back. It feels like we were just here this morning, because we were. So welcome back. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, Realtor, consultants, professional services in the GovCon space. And I want to welcome you all here today. We're supposed to have a special guest, and this special guest is not new to a lot of you here, because she was introduced back in, I'll tell you when. She was introduced back in August, when the first congressional letter went out. Yes, August. She was a homeless female veteran in, I'll tell you, in Charlottesville, Virginia. Senior veteran. And I really hope she gets on. We've been having this conversation for a long time, and I don't want to take away the great news that I want her to share with you all, in addition to the journey that it took from her being homeless all the way from April of 2025 to now October. Oh, so why am I here every day, every single day? I made a commitment to myself and to the homeless veterans who I interact with on a daily basis, and to those who say they want to help in the cause of housing homeless veterans, who want to make predictable, safe, recurring income by housing homeless veterans, because this is a business. I talk about homeless veterans a lot because there are a lot of homeless veterans in our communities who could use our resources and our services. You know, if you are an investor, how could you support this homeless veterans community? You have real estate, right? Now that's exactly. Hey, Mr. Bain, thanks for joining. But from a lot of times, investors don't know how to rent their units to homeless veterans, because they may think, where's the money? Because it's still a business. It's still a business, and nobody's asking anybody to house homeless veterans for free. Not when there's resources in our communities nationwide. We have what's called HUD-VASH. This is a Section 8 voucher specifically. Well, this is from Chicago. This is our CHA moving papers, request for tenancy approval packet. So we have veterans walking around with this golden ticket. That's what we call it. It's a golden ticket because it pays somebody's rent. It pays somebody's investment property. You buy investment properties, you want to know, where is the money coming from for me to run this place and for me, to house you? Where's the money going to come from? Well, this is the source right here. This Section 8 moving papers. And another source for United States of America, including Guam, is over $900 million in our community to house homeless veterans. I'll tell you, I can read it to you right here. So this was a press release from August 27, 2025 from Washington. The Department of Veteran Affairs today, August 27, 2025, announced more than $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. And there are 6 categories that this money can go to help support a veteran: housing and housing counseling, healthcare, financial planning services, child care, legal assistance, and transportation. So in this packet alone, there are 235 organizations that receive this money. And this is where the money is. Show me the money, Yvette. How do you house homeless veterans? Well, I use the money in the community that is attached to the veteran to house them in an investor's property. And as a realtor, I get a commission. That investor gets guaranteed rent every single month, and that veteran is no longer homeless. So on September 23rd, 2025, an additional $84 million was distributed in our communities nationwide to 176 organizations. So what's the problem then? What's the problem? If we have all of these resources in our communities, this Section 8 moving papers can house a homeless veteran in somebody's investment property. I'm going to go over here to thank y'all for watching and being here. Marlene, where are you? I hope she's not watching on TikTok trying to wave. I wanted her to come on. But anywho, we have some comments over here on YouTube from Mr. Bain. Hello, Mr. Bain. Mr. Bain, why don't you type in your story? Because you're over here just chit-chatting away. Yes, and I know and been there. And can you what? Can you come on the screen? Because if you want to, I will send you a link so you can come on. Mr. Bain was a homeless veteran, and with the family, I think there were 10 children, and he and his wife. And it took a long time to get him. Well, he had a voucher, and he didn't have a suitable place to live for him and his family. I'm old school. So when I got him, I had an investor. I had an investor who had just acquired a property, and he's like, Yvette, how many bedrooms are on the voucher? 7. And it's a 7-bedroom house. The house was huge, and his whole family was able to fit in that house with the voucher. But it took a long time because investors don't know. Oh, investors to put it on investors right now, which y'all don't know, but it's okay because I am preparing a masterclass for investors to show investors how to make predictable, safe, recurring income by housing homeless veterans, because we're not asking you to do this for free. I'm showing you where the money is. That's why this folder is green. That's where the money is. So now I'm going to talk to my realtor colleagues. My realtor colleagues over here, and this book is already on Amazon. So you want to know how to help these investors work in this community of homeless veterans using this money right here that's in the green folder, then you need to get this book. And I am creating a masterclass to teach you as well. But read the book. When I tell you I have been housing homeless, send you the link. Okay, let me try. I've been housing homeless veterans. Text me, put your email address in here, Mr. Bain, and I'll send you the link. Because I don't know if I have your email address when I open up this link to send you. I've been housing homeless veterans for over 22 years. And they've all gotten their rents paid. And all of the investors who were and still are, I'm still housing homeless veterans from this seat right here, working with investors who understand how this money works. Again, investors will learn how to make predictable, safe, recurring income by housing homeless veterans. My coach wrote that down for me because I've been having some difficult times trying to put into words exactly. Oh, thanks, Nita. I've been having a hard time just putting into words exactly what it is. Not your home address, Mr. Bain, your email address. Now everybody knows where you live. Delete that message, kind sir. Mr. Bain. So housing homeless veterans look like a lot of things, a whole lot of things. And people tell me all the time, delete comment. People tell me all the time, Yvette, I want to house homeless veterans. And my question is always, how do you want to house homeless veterans? How does that look in your mind? How does it look in your mind? I got a call today, and the young lady has a 5-bedroom house. So with the money that I just showed you, and we're just going to talk about these 2 buckets of money, and then how can regular citizens help reduce veterans' homelessness? Well, I have a whole series of books that I wrote about everything that I'm talking about is in one of these or 2 or 3 of these books. This one for realtors, to teach realtors how to work in the community with homeless veterans and help spend this money with investors. This book is to help you help veterans find this type of resource money anywhere in the United States of America. I've gone as far as Hawaii in this book, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Florida. I'm in 42 states now, helping homeless veterans access resources to get housed. This book is for those who say, I want to house homeless veterans and I want to put 2 to a room. So these are your shared living models. So get this book. You want to house homeless veterans this way, okay? This book is not released yet. The Notarization Made Easy. I do notaries in nursing homes, for nursing homes and hospitals, and in private homes for the sick and shut in. And I started doing that because I met a veteran in a nursing home, and I just struck up a conversation, and I started doing notaries for sick and shut in. For social workers, you want to know how to get involved in the community. Social workers could get this book too, because otherwise, and I have case studies in the book where social workers let seniors walk out the door homeless 2 times. They let her walk out the door homeless 2 times, and I housed her both times. And I teach social workers how to find resources in the community to move veterans quickly. Everything you're asking pretty much is in a book. Is in a book. There isn't one question that anybody can ask me that will satisfy your need to understanding how and why and who and what's and where and when. All of that encompasses how you house a homeless veteran. We all know why our veterans should be housed, because look, we served our country and we come home and we're treated like the yesterday's trash. If we can't put you somewhere, if you don't have what it takes to get somewhere, then there's nowhere for you to go. And those people who had nowhere to go became clients of mine as a realtor. I housed and helped my agents learn, and we all look, over 22 years, I've had 3 teams of agents who I've trained to house homeless veterans within this community and share in commissions. I've made a 6-figure income housing homeless veterans, and my agents didn't do shabby either. Oh, we know. Mr. Bain, I know you know. I'm a vet realtor. I want to start doing this. Where do I start? Thank you, my dear. Go to my bio and order the book, A Realtor's Blueprints, and you'll have all of my information in here. When you buy the book, DM me to let me know that you have the book, and I'll put you in my private class, in my private group, because I teach more in the private group to those who actually purchase books and read the books. Because I don't, you ask me a question on how you do things, I'm going to point you right back to some education. I was watching a video this morning on TikTok, and where's my notebook? Oh, it's buried under all of my publications. And he was talking about the process, and that the process, it's a learning process. You want to do what I do. You want to house homeless veterans, but you don't know how. So you have to learn that process. And luckily for you, I put the processes in various publications. Now, why don't I just have one publication? Because it's a lot of processes. I don't know how you want to house a homeless veteran. If you're a realtor, you can learn how to house homeless veterans using the money that they get in one of your investors' properties and get a commission. But how does your investor want to house homeless veterans? Does your investor want to utilize a HUD-VASH voucher? Does your investor want to do a shared living model? So that's why everything is not in one book. This is a master's program. So the learning process for you, learning brand new, you might think it is boring. You might think, oh, well, I can learn it easy. Just tell me what I need to do, or let me ask you this one question and I'll get it that fast. Good luck with that, because it's not going to happen. This is grown people's business. If you are an investor, and I've got letters in my publications from investors who have provided me with 400 units, 4,000 units. The letters are in the book. As one of my coaches says, the receipts. The receipt is in the book. And he clearly says, our firm has managed over 4,000 rental units across Chicago and in nearby suburbs. Then I'm going to drop down to the next paragraph. But when you get the book, you can read the whole letter. Whenever we are in need of a specialist for rental units, whether it is residential or commercial, we turn to Yvette Jones. That's me. Her expertise with Section 8 CHA Department of HUD shares no equal. Nope. I highly recommend Miss Jones now and in the future, as she has been dependable in the past. This is a 4,000 unit company right here. This right here, they kept buying. If I tell you the name here that was Chicago known, you would be like, oh yeah, I remember when they came to Chicago, because they were buying up everything. Well, me and my agents, we had master keys to all of their units. Oh my goodness. So these are the receipts of 22 years of working in this homeless veterans community, and letters straight from the Veterans Affairs, because they didn't know how to house homeless veterans either. These are the social workers, and that's why these letters are in this social work book, so you can see what can you do in this community. What can you do? Yvette, as a realtor, housed all of these homeless veterans with all of these investors, right? So now I re-engineer that and show these social workers how to do the same thing I did in the community, because I'm not in everybody's city or everybody's state. But what I do here from my seat, you can do right there where you are watching me. If you are a realtor, same thing. Your license, you can acquire, you can procure, what word am I looking for? Transactions. You can create a transaction. You're a realtor. You're housing homeless veterans that these social workers have caseloads for. They might have 20, 30, 40 people on their caseloads with a HUD-VASH voucher. Social worker, realtor, what are you going to do with all these homeless veterans with vouchers? You're going to tell them, oh, well, yeah, come on over here and I'll take you to look at this place, and we're going to do a credit check, a background check, an eviction check, your last 3 checks. What are you doing? When I just told you what they have. So you ask me, why do we have homeless veterans? Realtors, you're the problem. Investors, you're the problem. But it's okay, because I have the solution. I've got the solution. For realtors, grab this book. For investors and realtors, my master classes will be coming now that I have a better framework of how my coach is driving me to how I lay out the landscape to teach you all what I know, not just through the publications, but on a screen where you can say, oh, that's how you put that together. That's where the money is. This is how I can keep it going. Things like that. That is just too much for me to share with you here. So if you like what you hear, you think you want to, and you probably saying, Yvette, I want to do it. How long does it typically take for a veteran to get permanently housed? Oh my God. I'm working with a veteran right now, because there's no typical nothing. We're talking about all 50 states. Typical for me or typical for the country? If you're asking typical for me, in one day. I got a veteran who called me, who told me on a Friday, oh, we should have contacted you a while ago, and now we need to move by Wednesday, literally. And this was yesterday. Then I'm working with an investor here in Chicago who has a 3-flat, who wanted to figure out exactly what to do with those 3 units, whether to rent them all to HUD-VASH, all to supportive services for veteran family incomes. That's that 900,000 plus. Then he said, but you know what? We were talking about shared housing. I wrote the guide. for veteran shared housing. So he bought the book and he's in Texas and he read the book. And now I got the third floor rented in one day. Since you're asking me what's that, one day for me, it just works that way. And this is how I teach realtors, because it could be one day. It could be one day for anybody, as long as you know the steps. Now I'm working with a veteran, and she was supposed to come on. I don't know where she is. Working with a veteran in Virginia who has had a voucher, Section 8 HUD-VASH voucher specifically for veterans since April 2025. And she just told me today that she's been approved for a townhome. Since April, she and her caregiver have gone through credit check, background check, eviction check, just to get a denial. Okay, here we go. They applied for this house with the HUD-VASH voucher. Where's the voucher? Hold on. So I can show y'all how this works in illustration. Okay, so it's two of them, right? She's the veteran and she has a voucher. This is her voucher that'll pay the rent on somebody's investment property. And then she also has a caregiver. So it's two of them together, right? It's two of them together. She's the lady and he's the man, but he wasn't in the military, but it's okay because he does take care of her. She's a senior veteran, 72, and she has a caregiver. So she went to apply for this house and she talked to a realtor, and the realtor said, okay, in order to apply for this house, lady veteran, where'd she go? Come on, lady veteran. That's why she's pink. You have to do a credit check, a background check, an eviction check, and whatever else they want for that brokerage. And so does your caregiver. So now both of them are paying credit check for the credit check, background, all that stuff. Just for it to come back, oh, you don't qualify because something is wrong with either your credit check, your background check. You might have had an eviction or foreclosure or anything, and you don't qualify. But you've been qualified. You've been put through all of these qualifications already from the VA homeless walk-in. Luckily that she got one through the VA homeless walk-in, and then HUD itself through their local housing authority. They did another series of intakes just to say, okay, you qualify for this. So now you go see a realtor, and the realtor say, in order for you to apply for this home, both of y'all have to do a credit check, background check, eviction check, everything check, and pay us the money. So that's denial number 2. Where do they stay between the denials and the next denial? Didn't I say they're homeless? So they have been in a tent all this time in Virginia and have applied for various houses in Virginia. So when she called me, I'm like, you know what? This is utterly ridiculous, because you're not the only one who's calling me, sending me your information state to state, because now I'm in 42 states. She's in Virginia. So not only did I pull up resources for her and her caregiver in Virginia and send those resources, I also sent referral letters to all of those resources, because mind you, all of these resources have over $900 million, and they can do some spot checks for somebody to stay in transitional housing while they find them, actively help them find a rental using their HUD-VASH voucher. But no, that didn't happen. So I'm like, so then I reach out to the real estate board down there. I reach out to the National Association of Realtors, just to say, hey, we have a homeless veteran, and not just one, because every time I get one, I'm going to send it to your office. National Association of Realtors, right? Because hey, that's the national. They're over every realtor in this under the national's umbrella. So this veteran has a voucher, talking to the national. Oh, well, she's working with so-and-so. Let's go back to April. She's had a voucher since April. I'm talking to you now. This is August, September, and she's still unhoused. So you tell me who she's working with. Because if she was working with anybody knowledgeable, then she would be housed already. She's applied for 5 different houses and got denied because of the credit check, the background check, the eviction report, all of those external factors, but she's already been approved by the VA and by HUD. And this is not an isolated incident. This is in Virginia. I've got these same incidents in New York, with the family living in a car, in Las Vegas, in Hawaii, South Carolina. 42 states of homeless veterans can receive resources, have resources in their hand, and still can't get housed because of these harsh, additional, external factors, which is causing road bumps, blockades. And you ask, what can we do about it? Hey, I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans. It's real easy. It's easy to do. Just let your guards down. Because the only people you're hurting is that homeless veteran. You turn up your lips to say thank you for your service. You don't look no further into anything. I'm going to go back to my U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Guidebook Series. These books are to guide you into doing what you say you want to do. This is your guide book. Any book, pick a book. My books aren't titles. They don't have titles. My books have descriptions. So you'll know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You want to go into shared living models for veterans? What's the model that you want to transform this home into? Who do you want to serve? What type of disabled veteran? You want to serve senior veterans? What type of senior veterans? Veterans who are on oxygen tanks, or veterans who can still go bowling? So you have to know your demographic. Who are you most comfortable with? And you can find that in this book. Women veterans with children, women veterans with children of what age? Justice involved veterans, men or women. What do you want to do? This is your roadmap right here. A realtor. I didn't read y'all a whole title because it's very long. It's a description. For realtors, a realtor's blueprint, the veteran's path to home. How do you know how to get a veteran from homeless to home ownership, Yvette? How do you know how to do that? How have you done that and received awards from the Main Street Organization of Realtors over and over, from Home Snap, over and over, from my office of Real People Realty over and over. How are you able to maintain a six-figure income housing homeless veterans? As a realtor, Yvette, that's my name, by the way. And this is the book I wrote to teach realtors how to do that. And I'm also the publisher of all of my books, because I have to tell y'all the truth in the matter of housing homeless veterans. And I can only pull that out of my head to tell you how I did it. And I put it in the book so you can learn it. There's one question. It's not going to answer all the many voids you have in your head about housing homeless veterans. I really. This is the first book I wrote when I came out writing my intellectual properties. And the reason I started writing is because I had a lot to say and I wasn't getting the word out enough. And then our new administration in Washington started firing everybody and getting rid of people, and they got rid of me too. This is my badge from the VA. I was a volunteer, and I volunteered my time for 13 years going to the VA, teaching a workshop, and I would take my team with me, and we'd go to the VA. Hold on, I got pictures to show you. This is at the Jesse Brown Medical Center, CRRC, and I also have videos of me teaching at the Jesse Brown. This is at the vet centers, all of them except for one in the city of Chicago. This is a calendar of, we used to go every single week to a different vet center for this 1 year. And this is how I maintain a six-figure commission as a realtor, because I'm always out there. My team and I were everywhere. And this is at city colleges. I had a contract with city colleges to take my team of professionals to educate veterans from homeless to homeownership. And that's how I'm able to take a veteran from homeless to homeownership, because I know where the money is when they're homeless. I know how to use those resources when they're homeless. I know how to, and I teach you, not just me, it's in the books now. It's in all of my books. I teach you how to do the same thing. It's not rocket science. It's just sitting down with a nice cup of hot, whatever you want to drink, and read the book. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, Yvette, these are good," and they're not even hard to read, because it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. I really wrote these books like, I told my voice to write it in like my prompt to write in like a fifth grade understanding. So I'm not using any big words. The acronyms are spelled out so you can understand exactly what it is I've been doing over the past 22 plus years. And still doing it. This is at the City College, and this right here is at the Vet Center in Forest Park, where I was for 13 years. Before I even knew I needed a team, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a realtor. I can't talk about the loans like that. Hey, wait, I'm not an attorney. So I started building my team. Let me show y'all my team. Okay, this is my husband. He became a realtor. This is the second oldest veteran who we sold to. And this is one of our attorneys right here. His prop where he lived was being torn down. It was a very, very old trailer park community, and they were tearing it down. And nobody ever told this man, after living in that trailer park, hey, you're a veteran, you can use your VA home loan to buy, let's see if you can get one. And he did. We helped him all through the entire process. My husband was running back and forth. He's also a realtor, running back and forth, and a retired Army Master Sergeant. He's running back and forth because he didn't have email. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that one. But he was the oldest veteran who we got out of a real bad situation. So that's what I'm here for, to just help educate the community and helping you do what you say you want to do, or helping you learn to do what you think you say you want to do. The phone call I had today with the young lady, she said, "Oh, just tell me, just tell me, just tell me." I'm like, okay, all these questions you're asking me is not leading up to you knowing, because there's a lot to know. This is education and it's a business. So you're starting a business when you're starting to house homeless veterans. When I started housing veterans as a realtor and I saw that I was making all this money under my Social Security, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a business. Nobody even tell you stuff like that. I'm like, so I found out and created an LLC, and under my LLC is my education. So I'm still a realtor. I can still house you and get a commission, and I can still educate you under my LLC. Exactly. So let me see if I have any questions that I can really answer, and non-speculative questions that you're asking me something that need to be answered by a crystal ball. Let me see here. Rick, thank you for showing the impact of advocacy, truly enlightening. Yeah, it's advocacy and business, baby. How do HUD-VASH programs coordinate with local nonprofits? Read the book. That's in a couple of books, actually. That's in Collaborative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans. It's in Finding Home, and it's also in, one moment, please, Innovative Housing Solutions, Your Guide to Shared Living. So it's in all those 3 books. Veterans help. Hey, Mr. Bain, you're still here. How long does it typically take for a veteran to get permanently housed? I told you, with me, 1 day, literally. Even if it's HUD-VASH, I can get them approved in 1 day, but they won't move in 1 day. And Jeanette, thank you so much for your expertise. It is truly my pleasure. Thank you all for being here. If you have not clicked to like, to share, let me get his address off of this screen, Mr. Bain. How can regular citizens help reduce veteran homelessness? Buy my books and learn. I was thinking about this today. If you want to learn quantum physics, you got to read. You want to learn how to house homeless veterans, you got to read. What's the most effective program you've seen work for veterans? In my books and what I've been doing for 22 years, housing them. So read today. Love this live discussion. Thank you for your insights. My pleasure, young lady. And I believe that's it. And I have not seen Marlene. I have not seen Marlene. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. All right. So I don't know where Marlene is. And she's on the banner. Well, let me see. I think I can play her video. I believe we have a Marlene video. Marlene, let me read. Oh, come on. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Hello. Good afternoon, Yvette. Hey, we're doing a little cooking here. We're going to have some pork chops.
Pork chops
With mojo on it.
with the mojo on it.
And then we got some yellow rice.
The yellow rice.
That we will be warming up on the grill. And then we have sweet potatoes, which are good for diabetics.
Diabetical meal for your favorite little Sunday afternoon.
Yes. In other words, we're having a good meal today.
Oh my God. We need a shower too after all this.
That will be something tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight. I'm gonna take a shower out here.
Well, where else you gonna take a shower at, Jose? So that green structure you saw in the back called a tent, yes. And who you saw on that video is who were supposed to come on live. Maybe she has some technical difficulties, I'm not sure. But that's Sergeant Marlene Wolf. And Sergeant Marlene Wolf came to me in August to let me know that she found me on social media talking about helping homeless veterans. And I sent them a ton of resources and also sent out referral letters for all of those resources in her town where she was looking to get housed, where she had her housing voucher, and also letters to congressional letters, because I figure like this, these politicians in these towns, they don't know. They couldn't know the real reason why we have homeless veterans. And this is one of those reasons, not being able to pass a credit check or any other background checks while having a voucher. They don't know that's the roadblock for these veterans with these guaranteed funds, and that's why they're homeless. Okay. So this letter went to the Honorable John J. McGuire, member of Congress over Lynchburg, Virginia, and his office did respond back to us. He was on the emails, and we even had an hour-long conversation, not with the congressman, but with his office. What is his name? I forgot his name. Ben, that's his name. So Ben, he wanted to do his own investigative work. I said, please go ahead. And I'll send you over all the resources that I sent her so you can also contact all of these places as well. Because I don't have time, nor do I have the energy. I'm working with 42 states now of homeless veterans, calling all of these resources for one person. I'm just one person. So he got on the horn and he started calling these resources just to come back to tell me that, oh, I spoke to the housing authority and she said she sent them, hold on, I like to do show and tell. She sent them a list of housing in the area that she's looking. Okay, so this list has been exhausted and she's still been homeless since April, and this is now August. So when did you say you sent her this list? Because everybody on this list said a no. So what do you send her next? So Ben of the Congressman John McGuire's office said, well, I talked to the lady over this note here who is at the housing authority, and she said that's what they're working with. Okay, well, that didn't work because she's still homeless, and she's on her, at the end of the day, she renewed her voucher 5 times. 5 times. So then the McGuire's office, I said, I need you to contact these other offices on behalf of the veteran, okay, to see where they stand. So they, he accommodated that. Nothing happened. Reached out to this office again, then reached out to another foundation in that area because they do housing. They do housing in that area, but nothing has come out of this. And then back over to this girl to see if they have any realtors in their network who know how to work with a voucher holder. And they don't, but they do have management companies that the voucher holders in this area can contact and go apply for housing, which they did. And it cost them money to apply for this apartment. And this happened on September 14th. But they've been homeless since April. So now you're applying for another apartment in September because everybody else said no already. But go ahead and apply here because they have availabilities. You apply and get denied again. So that's what happens in our homeless veterans community with veterans who have guaranteed rent through a voucher or through any other what's called SSVF funding or any other philanthropy rental payments. I remember finding, helping to find. They actually found her something while I was looking, which turned out to be good because I did get to meet her. But the Steve Harvey Show called me years ago because they wanted to house a homeless veteran with children, a single mom, for a year up to 2 years, depending on the grades of the children. So you never know who's out here looking to pay for rent for your unit as an investor. And that's what I teach you. You want to learn to do what I do, go buy a book. Go buy a book and let me know that you have purchased a book, and then I will put you in my private group, and that's where you learn some more. But how you engage with me is you go educate yourself. You say you want to house homeless veterans. You say we shouldn't have homeless veterans, then go educate yourself. To do this in the community is duplicatable now. Everything is duplicatable. All you got to do is read. Everything is duplicatable. I didn't leave any stones unturned. Everything is duplicatable. I appreciate your time today, staying here to watch and to listen. And I invite you to learn because I can't do a brain dump. I cannot do a brain dump. All of my books are on Amazon. Just write my name down, go to Amazon and read the descriptions that I call titles. Or these are titles, but I call them descriptions. That's a lot of words on this book. It's a lot of words on all of my books, and it tells you exactly what you're going to get. I designed this cover using AI. You see her, I was a homeless female veteran, and I had nowhere to go in the community, nowhere to go. That's me up there, by the way. I had nowhere to go. And that's what happens with our homeless veterans. They have nowhere to go until you help them find home. So that's what this book is. This book helps you help them in your community. If you want to do shared housing for veterans, get this book. I wrote my my setup for this book back in March 13th, 2025. And when I was digging through some papers, I'm like, oh. And then she was born. She was released in September. I wrote the outline in March. I knew she had to be born because what I see, different people have master classes and they teach you how to do shared housing, but the component was missing. There's a component missing when you house veterans in shared housing. And that component is in this book. I can't give y'all all my secrets. I can't. It's in the book. Buy them. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you stopping by today. You could have been anywhere at this time, but you chose to be here. And I don't take that lightly. I came out to speak publicly on national, whatever this, the media, to talk about the real issues that we face in our homeless veterans community. I was a homeless veteran. I was married to a Marine, actively serving Marine, right? I was young. I was 19 coming home. And my daddy died, and I married this dude because I was homeless. When I discharged from the military, I didn't have benefits. And that's what happens to a lot of our veterans. Get discharged with no benefits, no service connection, disability pay, which could be over $3,400 a month. But if you don't have that, you don't have that. No medical. So now I'm on public aid. It was ridiculous. on food stamps and WIC. It was utterly ridiculous. And I'm in uniform, have served this country with no benefits. So now when I'm married to the Marine, actively duty serving Marine, I'm a battered wife and I run away and I have nowhere to go. I go to the VA and they turn me away because they don't know the resources. So hold on. That's why I wrote this book, to teach them how to keep people and put them in places that aren't on the street. So everything I come on here and talk about is from lived experience, from military sexual trauma to battered wife to homeless to becoming a homeowner, a business owner, to becoming a realtor and housing over 5,000 homeless veterans. And if I can do it, you can too, because I wrote it in all those books. So you say you want to house homeless veterans. You're doing somebody a great favor. Really, you are. You're saving somebody's life. I'm going to end with this story, and I want you all to hear it. It's 134 people on YouTube and like 5 of y'all over there on TikTok. Thanks for, I know I wore out some ears listening, but thank you for listening. I had COVID-19 pneumonia, and I was in the hospital, and I was in such excruciating pain that I didn't want to live anymore. So I was just talking to God. I'm like, look, either you take this pain away or you take me, but I can't do both. So he said, okay, I got you, daughter. And he took me away. I was gone from this life, from this side of life, this side of earth. I was gone. And what I experienced was utter joy and peace. And I never felt anything like that in my entire living on this side of earth. Now I can take myself back there at any given time in my mind because I remember the feeling, but that was the best feeling I ever had. So when I woke up from that near-death experience, there was a person standing over me who I thought was my angel because I was waking up from.
Are you looking for a specific song, person?
No, Alexa. I was waking up. I was coming back to life, to this side of earth. And I asked her, are you my angel?
Would you like me to pause the audio that's currently playing?
No, Alexa, I want you to stop talking. So I asked her, I said, are you my angel? Alexa keeps listening. And she said, no, Yvette, it's Dr. Carla. Alexa, keep playing the music, please. And I'm like, I know Dr. Carla, but I'm like, Dr. Carla, I'm saying it's so hard for me to speak because everything is hurting so bad. But what are you doing here? And she's praying over me. And as she's praying over me, I just feel it because everything hurts so bad. It hurt to cry, but I just felt a little tear. And I'm like, and then she leaves. She leaves. Just as I'm waking up to come back to life, she's there. She prays over me and poof, she's gone. Like she was Michael. She was my angel. So Dr. Carla was a homeless female veteran who I housed 10 years before she came and stood over me as a doctor with her PhD, standing over me praying. I'm like, you know what? After I didn't put all this together at that time because I'm still trying to figure out, why am I back here and I'm still in all this pain? So I had to fight through all of that. It took some time to get all through that. But then it dawned on me, somebody said to me, about the work that I do in this community, taking a homeless female veteran and her 10-year-old daughter to safety, not just to safety, but to a single family house. That one of these agencies, not HUD-VASH, I tell you, I know where the money is, and I show you where the money is. One of these agencies, and I just called one of the agencies. I just called to make sure, because that agency popped up on another list of resources. So I called to make sure is that agency back around? Because I know they had lost some things, but it said it was a different agency. I said, okay, good. They still have the same number, but they're on this list. I'll tell you how much money they received here in Illinois this year, if they're on this list. Oh, they're not on this list this year, but this was a long time ago anyway. It was the YWCA that answered the call this morning. YWCA. Oh. So I'm like, God, you done brought me back to life to show me that the work that you have is not done. And it's too big for me to do. So that's why I'm on all of these social medias, sharing this information and this knowledge with you if you want it. If you want it, it's in a book. So when you ask me a question, just know my slogan is in a book. It's in a book. This girl told me today that just tell me it's in a book. I can't tell you anymore, but I do appreciate y'all for being here. Ciao for now. Let me see what's going to play going out.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.